along with her husband Todd, is the founder of the Lupus. I gotta take my glasses off. Excuse me. These are new and I can't read with them.
Oh.
She's the founder of the Lupus Research Foundation and is the executive director of the foundation team working toward a cure. Regan is a mechanical engineer, and more to the point, she is a lupus survivor. She was diagnosed with lupus several years ago and needed immediate attention. The right early diagnosis and treatment saved her life. She went into remission, and her lab results eventually returned to fairly normal levels. But she still felt very sick, and at times she was feeling depressed and desperate. It took almost a decade, but because of the early diagnosis, along with diet change and exercise, she did recover and now enjoys a high quality of life and remission. Regan realizes that most others aren't quite so lucky. That is why she is passionate about finding a cure, because that's the best way that she can help people living with lupus. So now she and Todd together are focusing on the next 5 years toward a cure. She's here today to talk to us about moving beyond our challenges and meeting our goals. Please welcome Regan Birr.
Thank you. My goodness, you make quite the trek. I'm happy to be here. Yeah, honestly, thank you. It was so worth it. I'd come here every week if I could. Thanks for the hospitality and the nice meal and welcoming me here today. So,
Just give it a good pull.
Yeah.
You want a hand with that?
You got it.
down. Yeah.
There you
Oh,
go.
there, yeah, if you just angle it, okay.
Check, check, check. Oh, it's so official. I love it. Thank you. Well, thanks again, you guys. I am Regan, and I'm so happy to be here. And that's true, Peggy. We talk to lupus patients here and all over the country, and we've expanded to talking to groups like you so we can share our message, which is, I believe that we all have the ability to empower ourselves for health and happiness in life and in work. And then when we do that, we empower other people to do the same, to lift their own selves up so that they can put their best foot forward and help other people around them. And this is going to create a really nice environment of positivity no matter where we are. But the cycle has to start somewhere, and it starts with you. And the thing about it is, I view this as an opportunity, not just an obligation, but an opportunity in that there is responsibility in thinking about, well, why should I empower myself first? It can seem kind of counterintuitive, right? I mean, we're all here today at Rotary where your primary objective is to help other people. I really do believe, though, if we fill our cup, and this is my motivation, then we are able to give our best selves to others. That's the most effective, so that they can feel like they want to be around us, right? Stick around in their jobs, be a part of our groups that we're a part of, maybe join the church groups where we are at, and then just help us meet our mission as well. We want to help them. Because the other thing I strongly believe, and tell me if you guys think this too, we all want to be heard. Do you know what, right? We all want to feel like we're valued. And I know you guys have the same mission as I do, is we want to make an impact. And feel like, you know, when it's time for us to leave this earth and move on to the next, the world will know we were here. Cool, okay, so let's keep going. I've developed 5 pieces that I think are crucial to empower ourselves. But again, always to keep in mind why we are doing this. We have a gift in our life, right? That's our life. The most precious possession we have is our life. Therefore, the most precious possession we have is our health. So we want to be good stewards of that. Again, to lead by example and also be able to help other people and meet our mission once we find it. It's in the news these days, there's an epidemic of loneliness. And Gallup polls and other polls also show that when we create a healthy environment in work, whether we provide gym memberships or spaces where people can do meditation and so on, it really can increase productivity. So that's a valuable reason to do it. But again, I think that the people-centric motivation is utmost. And there's a cry also these days for people-centric leaders. And again, whether we are a leader or we own the company or we are an employee or a solopreneur, this is the best thing we can do to have the life we want, and again, share with others. So, increase our energy. This is the best way that we can kickstart what we're gonna do. You know, you have to feel like you have the oomph and the zest in life, whether it's mental energy or physical energy, to move forward and carry out your goals. Number 2, build a pretty strong toolbox. I think this is crucial, whether it's therapy or again, building your network and working with other people. These things can really help us carry out to 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Number 3, set a realistic and positive mindset. A positive mindset. Number 4, build our support network. Again, this is a wonderful example. We're here today working with each other. And number 5, be a little stubborn. I've had a couple of healthy doses of reality come my way, and that can be one way that you can create your own reality. Do your path. All right, so again, what is the why? The why behind setting ourselves up for success is so that we can keep the wheels going. We can help other people. And number 1 in all of these keys is to be kind to yourself. These might not be easy to do right off the bat. I mean, I think some of them are, and hopefully when we walk away today, we'll have a specific takeaway that we can start implementing. But it's also really important to celebrate the wins. So if you take a step forward, make sure you take 2 steps forward, and then 1 step back. That's always gonna be what happens. It's what happens in my life too, but repetition makes for success. So we're gonna set ourselves up and always remember, you know, pat yourself on the back. Good job, Regan. Make a physical connection. Make the sound so you can hear it. Even, when I first got sick with lupus, I had a friend, and she was going through bone cancer at the time. And she was on really heavy-duty medication, including chemotherapy. She's alive and well to this day. She's a pediatric nurse. Isn't that amazing? But she grew up in the same small town that I did, which was northern Saskatchewan, Canada, called Shelburne. 1,000 people lived in that town. So everybody knew everybody, but I had moved to the States already at that time, and she was getting her care in Saskatoon. And I called her crying, and I said, I don't know if I can do this, because I was told I'd have to go on chemotherapy too, to suppress my overactive immune system. Are you guys familiar with lupus? No? Okay. Well, lupus is an autoimmune disease with genetic origin where you have a trigger and it flares your body to attack healthy tissue. So for me, it was attacking my kidneys. And you want to catch it before it starts to move to other organs. I mean, usually when people don't make it, it's when multiple organs fail. And it can happen to young people. 1.5 million Americans have lupus. That's more than MS and AIDS combined. Shocking, right? I didn't even know that when I was first diagnosed. And in fact, they told me something really scary, that I'd have a 50% chance of living 5 years.
Wow.
Yeah, isn't that crazy? So luckily my nephrologist said to me, Regan, don't listen to those stats. You're gonna be fine. We caught it early. But that's why I'm here today in remission. Thank you for saying that, Peg. And that's not the rule. I am the exception for sure. So that's why we do what we do. And we aim to fund research as much as we can, so a targeted therapy can be found. But it's also crucial to be able to increase my own energy, right? Work with the medications and increase my energy and do what I can. And that's why I called Sarah. And I said, what can I do to help myself? You know, I got to get out of this self-pity. But she said, your struggles are your struggles. And they're important. What you want matters, what you say matters, and what you feel matters. So that was my first introduction into reality, which was accepting or learning about my new normal, which is something we're going to get into later, which I didn't quite accept. But it started making me think that maybe there was hope for me in the future as well. But she did say celebrate every win, whether it's a blood draw or you got your chemo done that day. Go out for supper if you're allowed, have a glass of wine or go to a movie. rest at night, cuddle up in a blanket. Those are the things she told me to do, but she said celebrate every win. And I do. So these days I have a to-do list, I cross it off, but then in my journal, which is Hopes and Dreams, it's a Joel Osteen journal, I write down my wins. So there's no strike through in that thing. It's all wins in blue pen, and if it's really good, I'll highlight it. So today I'm gonna highlight it and put a star beside it. This has been really fun already. Okay, and I'm not gonna talk too much about increasing energy here. I've got a whole bunch of slides I can send you, or if you want my 31-day anti-inflammatory diet, I will send it to you. It's backed by doctors who have invited me to speak at other patient education days, and it's basically the Mediterranean diet. But like I say, I don't want to spend too much time on it because it gets a little bit detailed, but I want to hit some of the highlights. Are you guys familiar with the glycemic index? Yeah. We want to focus on eating foods that do not rapidly convert to blood sugar so that we don't have spikes and big crashes. We don't want that, crash at 2 o'clock after we've had a big lunch. We want to be able to stay pretty with it throughout the day. So if you stick to lower or mid glycemic index foods, it's really easy to do that. And I mean, look at these foods. Like, I love all the foods in this whole wheel. And I like to say, if you want your cake, eat it. Have your chocolate cake and eat it too. Who likes chocolate cake? Right? We got a couple of birthdays here today, loved ones. We're gonna have some birthday cake. But for the most part, stick to healthy, whole foods, a little bit of meat. You gotta run this by your doctor, like I have to watch my protein intake. But add vegetables, fruit. The body thanks you for it. Oh, and there's cherries, my favorite item on the wheel. So follow the glycemic index chart, have a little bit of protein with every meal, if approved by your healthcare provider. And here's some ideas. I mean, I gotta tell you, every day I love having eggs, 2 eggs every morning. And my husband Todd likes to say that's his favorite way to eat children. Isn't that horrible? But it makes me laugh every time. Add some oatmeal if you're still hungry. Use real sugar in your coffee. We're trying to avoid too much high fructose corn syrup, that kind of thing. But snacks, you can have a little bit of almonds and some fruit, and then repeat it again. So you can see that this is a lot of food in one day. It's almost more than you could actually fit. But a cup of broccoli, it costs almost nothing in terms of calories or negative effects. So if you're thinking about eating potato chips, just consider what you're doing for your body. Maybe have a vegetable or a salad instead. Instead of white rice, eat brown rice. Instead of white sugar, eat raw sugar. Instead of I say pasta, I'm from Canada, eat brown rice pasta or spaghetti squash. Many, many ways you can easily adjust the diet without eliminating anything. Oh, who here likes rye bread? Oh wow, a lot of hands came up. Yeah, I love rye bread, like pure rye bread. And I buy it from specialty grocery stores, or you can get it online at Amazon. But that stuff is so heavy, you could break a window with it. Right? The real rye bread, but it is so good toasted with a little bit of butter on top. Not too much butter, and maybe some honey. That's cool. Do you guys eat rye crackers at all? Either rye Vita? No? Oh, try them. If you like rye bread, you might really like those crackers. And they're heavy and thick, so you can put turkey on it, other kinds of meat. You can even put avocado. Just load it with whatever, foods you actually love to eat. We all know the superfoods. Eat colorful foods. What's good for your brain is good for your body. There's my energy wheel. But here's some tricks that I learned actually when I was sick. And my will wasn't really high. My will was low. Out of sight, out of mind. Who uses that for your food? Or for anything? Reminders. I file in piles. It drives my husband crazy. But yeah, if we put the Coca-Cola and the chips under the stairs or out in the garage, it just creates that little bit of a pause, right? And that's important so that we can have some time where we actually think to ourselves, do I really want the chips? Right? Be mindful. I actually smell my food. If I'm alone, I don't want to look, too intense when I'm eating with other people, but I will smell my food and say, broccoli. I guess I do like broccoli. I mentioned broccoli a lot. Or put your fork down between bites, or have a sip of water between bites. Being intentional, which ties into the whole reason that I give this talk. We want to be intentional about our lives. And intentional about nourishment is a big part of that. And it's all just to set ourselves up for our personal energy so we have more to give to others. So everybody knows we're going to eat what we crave, right? Well, studies show we can have neuroplasticity. Like, I'm an engineer, I'm not a food scientist, but this is documented Harvard research, where if you actually flip it to, I'm going to crave what I eat. I want to start craving what I eat. So next time you're hungry and you reach for an apple because, well, I'm supposed to eat an apple instead of chips before supper, what it actually does is it can help train your cravings so that the next time you do it and you're really hungry, you're actually going to want that apple. So you push through the pain just a little bit to get to the reward on the other side. We all know that the pain of regret is far bigger than the pain of discomfort of doing something for the first time, right? And that's so worth it. And especially when you have lupus, it's a vascular disease. I've got to be careful about my blood pressure. I just have to do like work that we all do to take care of my health so I can be there for my family. Accountability, writing things down really helps, and then having an accountability partner helps too. And before we move on to a little bit of exercise, I want to ask you, because I've been talking a lot about the why, what is your motivation? Who would you do this for? Who would you have a salad for instead of chips? Right? Could be your child, could be you, could be your husband, whoever's closest to you in your life. Think about that. All right, so as an engineer, I did develop a way of exercising that's easier on the joints than what you might learn traditionally from a trainer in the gym. Okay, so for example, when I owe everything to my sister. When I was really sick, my sister said to me, "Why don't you start exercising?" And I was like, no, thank you. This is not something that I want to do. And all these years later, it's kind of funny. I did get my training certification, and I teach exercise classes 3 days a week. But I teach them in a way that you can do them without your shoes. You can do them from a chair. And it's low impact, okay? So low impact where we're not jumping. Maybe we're using our arms a little bit. Doing it from a chair, but with weights, if the person can use weights. Body weight is just fine. But when I first started doing a squat to follow the lady on the video, I couldn't do it. Well, I couldn't even get down into the garbage bag and pull out the garbage. I couldn't unload the groceries from the trunk. I didn't want to like lean forward and get the clothes out of the washing machine to put them in the dryer. I just had trouble with my knees, and my hips. But if you lean forward a little bit before you do your squat, that more evenly distributes the weight on your knees. And it's more comfortable. So it's almost like a deadlift. But that was one little tweak. And it's amazing how sometimes just a tiny, tiny change can lead to huge results. Took me from not being able to do it to being able to do it 3 times a week, right? So it's pretty cool. Same with, do this exercise with me, you guys. Hold your arms in front of you. If we're talking about the shoulder and we want to reduce the torque, let's just do a few raises right now. Yeah, just to shoulder height. Let's do about 5 or 6 of those. Okay. And if you want to make it a little harder, you could put a water bottle or something in your hand. But if that's hard for somebody who has shoulder pain, reduce your lever. So just make a 90-degree angle here, and now do the exercise. It feels different, doesn't it? Easier or harder?
Easier.
Yeah, that's the trick. That's how easy it can be. Thank you for doing that little exercise with me. I appreciate it. And then we challenge people with the brain. We might do like palms down, then palms together, then palms up. Back and forth, cardio exercise with strength exercise, and then abdominals from the chair. Oh, let's do another one. Let's just do some sit-ups. Like, it's so easy and fun. You gotta have a strong trunk, if you scoot yourself towards the edge of the chair, now we have room to lean back a little and do some sit-ups. Oh, thank you. This is the first time we've done sit-ups in one of my presentations. Thank you very much. I love it. There you go. And knee lifts, that can work the whole abdominal area. Very nice. Okay, so you guys get the idea. But the point is, we're going to keep it simple. Easy is effective. Usually I play a little bit of Rolling Stones here. Do you want to see my Mick Jagger impression? Okay, let me see if I can do this.
And he waves to one side and the other side, and then he goes, you, and then he wiggles his back a little bit. Isn't that funny? I like that. Oh, thank you very much.
I can resist. Isn't that a good song? Oh my gosh, my husband got me tickets in May to go see the Stones in Vegas. It was amazing. And I was sweating from doing that. He was doing that the whole night. He had the most energy of everybody in the place. Oh, it was awesome. Do you guys like the Rolling Stones? Cool, yes. Have you seen them live?
Yes.
Oh, really? You've seen them? Where'd you see them?
Met Stadium.
Whoa.
Oh my gosh.
A long time ago.
Yeah. Oh, they were so good. Their whole career, they've been so good. So, like the
60s?
So let me think. No, that
Could have been that long ago.
It was like in the 80s.
Yeah. 81 was the Let's Spend the Night Together tour. Yeah, those were good songs. Yeah, I think this one might have come after that, but not much long after. Yeah, so Hang Fire was popular then, and I Can't Get No Satisfaction, of course. It's one of their first early hits, right?
Honky Tonk Woman was the thing I remember.
Oh, really? Honky Tonk
It was
Woman.
so-
Yeah, that's an awesome song. One of my favorites. Gosh, good for you. I love them. All right, so we talked about tools. This is the one that got me the most. When I was really sick again, before I started exercising and strengthening my muscles around the joints, I needed a cane to get up and down the stairs. And I don't really want to talk about different tools today, but rather the approach, the mindset towards the tools. I had to get over the guilt and the fear, the shame, I guess, being embarrassed of using a cane. And it didn't last long. Once I started using the cane, it made it so much easier to get up and down the stairs that I started to become proud of myself for giving myself tools for my tool belt. So the more tools I started to put in there, the happier I started to become. And yes, some of them cost a little bit of money, but some are free. But it's worth it. It's worth it. I go by Energy Bank, Money Bank, and Calorie Bank, but the Energy and the Money Bank, to me, they're kind of the same. Like, what is it worth for you? If it's worth improving your quality of life, it's worth it. If animals can use a tool, to find food and get ants out of a log, and then I can be happy with my tools too. And the goal is to get back on the road of life instead of to spiral down, right? So the tools help you turn opportunity into challenge, and remember to fill your cup first to move forward. I did therapy as well. I also did Taekwondo. It looks like she's punching therapy, but that's not how I felt about it. It was actually really wonderful and something I still use from time to time to this day. But you never know what will take our minds in different directions. Are any of you guys project managers? We're all project managers in our whole life. Okay, yeah. You got to have a plan in place, right? You have to have an order of events and have goals that you meet before you can move from step to step. But I think talking it through, just like when you plan projects with your team, putting it out there verbally and then writing it down, makes all the difference. It takes it from in our minds to actually achieving it in reality. Oh, any Parks and Recs fans out there? Writing things down, keeping track of everything in binders. She's got a whole bunch of binders there behind her. I have some really great ideas and I put them all in my idea binder. That's actually something I did. When I was first diagnosed, I went from 40 hours a week to 24 at a construction firm. I was selling preventative maintenance contracts, and I used binders to help me obtain clients. You know, I would have categories, and then once I started getting clients in the categories like churches, schools, warehouses, well then each client got a binder. And seeing it visually just helped me keep growing the business. And that's why I think having your tools is so important. Whatever works for you. There's nothing we can't do if we work hard, never sleep, and shirk all other responsibilities in our lives. Great, let's do that. I'm kidding. What we want to do is set our mindset. These are the 3 easiest tools I have here. Done is better than perfect. Okay? That's something I've written on my wall. Don't keep rereading emails, just get it sent. Number 2, it's not willpower, it's schedule. I do not wake up every day wanting to sit on that chair and exercise. I wake up every day thinking I want to go back to bed. So I set a schedule for myself, and actually it's a visual reminder and a cue, which is my in-home shoes near my bed. It's the first thing I see, and it takes me out into the living room. And so it's not really like I'm planning every day, like re-motivating myself. It just is the way it is. Kind of like in curling, you know, do you guys know the Olympic ice sport of curling? Okay, so you have a round, just like the table, not too much bigger than that table, house. It's called the house, it's your bullseye. And you want to score points by being closer to the middle than your opponent. And if somebody misses their shot, say, and you're the person calling the strategy or the skip, it's not like we look and say, oh, I wish they had made their shot. You don't have time for that. The games are timed. And if you run out of time, you'll lose. So you look at the house and you say, this is how the house looks now. That's it. It's like that's the only time in history you've seen that house with the rock positioned the way they are. And you move on from there. And then easy is effective, like we talked about with the exercise program. For success, we need to have repeatability. If I'm going to do something in a repeated manner, I'm going to want to make it easy for myself. Not that we don't work hard, but we have easy moves. You know, back to therapy. The first therapist I had said she couldn't finish her thesis for her doctorate. So she said, well, I'm going to work for 2 hours a day. It didn't happen. I'm going to work for 1 hour a day. It didn't happen. Well, finally she said, I'm just going to turn on my computer. And then she finished the thing. So baby steps count. Frame it in a way that works for you. And don't be shy to share this with people. I bet you we can all think of 5 or 6 folks who don't hear this or don't hear it on a regular basis. So whatever message has resonated with you today, please share that with someone else. Okay, so there's a reason I have a kidney here. And this is shaped like a heart and a kidney, which is kind of cool. But when I first got sick, my dad said, well, I'll give you a kidney. That stuck with me forever. I have a core group of people, maybe 5 or 6, that are my forever people. My husband is number 1, my sister, my mom and dad, and a couple of really good friends. And how I frame it to myself is to determine who's going to be in my core group that I actually share my heart with and my true feelings with. Who would give me a kidney? Oh, yeah, thank you. That's pretty generous. And actually, that's how people survive. I have another friend who couldn't get a match. She had the exact same kidney disease as me. None of her family would match. She has 3 sons, and then even extended family. She just was running out of luck. So she did a radio show, and she got one. Because somebody said, I'll give you a kidney in that program where someone else can get a kidney as well. Oh my gosh, I have goosebumps just thinking about that. And she's alive and well today too. I got the medication early enough, she didn't. So she almost died. She was on dialysis for a while. It was a nightmare. So thankfully someone like you spoke up and helped her. But then you have the people you invite for dinner or you go to their house. I only have a couple of people like that in my life. And then you have people in your business network who I call friends. They're business friends. They're so important. They're so important. They're your life. They represent who you are and what you do and what you believe in. And sometimes they can become part of your inner circle. And lastly, create your own reality. I remember my mother said to me, and I talk to her almost every day, at least by text, and my dad, Regan, you're gonna have to have your own new normal. And I totally rejected that. I was in denial about having lupus. I needed a therapy counselor at Lupus, Colorado, which is where I first got diagnosed, to say, it's not your fault. And she also said, you're in denial, and that's okay. So I learned right then and there, it's okay to have a little bit of denial. Not that I had lupus, but I denied what other people were gonna put on me that they thought I should do. You know, I had another friend saying, well, you might not be able to achieve what you want in 5 years, maybe it'll take you 15. And some things did take me a long time, but I rejected that because Janice gave me the okay to have a little bit of denial. So I found my own way to create what I wanted to do. Got a personal mission statement. Who has a personal mission statement? Ooh. Okay, let me ask you this, and then you'll have a personal mission statement. You don't have to say it out loud, but think of it. What comes to mind for you as most important to you right now? That's your why. That would be part of your mission statement. Is it raising healthy adults? Is it helping find a cure for lupus through music and advocacy? Is it winning a national championship in curling? Right? So, that's my presentation, you guys. I'm so glad I had you with me today. And if you have any questions for me, please reach out. I'd love to talk with you more. Thank you.
Tremendous,
Oh,
tremendous.
thank you. That was so fun.
Well,
You guys were a fun audience.
I need you up here though, please.
Oh, me?
Please. Yeah, we always have a gift for our speakers.
Oh.
And we love to share this because it's a set of note cards with pictures of Golden Valley. These are prize-winning photographs of Golden Valley area. And so if you ever need to write a note to a friend, then please use a card. Give her another round of applause. Would you please? Can you stay around for